have no reason, but I guess it's okay. Yeah, I just thought that was pretty interesting. That was pretty interesting myself. We have some things going very strange, but yeah, I mean, young men, my son's schoolmates can't seem to get jobs, or at least hold down jobs. All the girls seem to be getting the jobs, all the boys seem not to be. It's not because the boys aren't smart, it's just because they have been programmed to be downtrodden. I think women have been elevated in terms of education, and the boys have been left behind because they learn in a different way. They don't learn by sitting there at desks. Women can sit there and talk and listen, whereas the boys have got to do stuff. So we have destroyed what's going on for young men, and that's very clear to me from last night. Very sad. There was just women all over this. Now, if the man was buying, he was usually buying for his wife and kids, whereas the young career woman is, out there flogging it and making lots of money and has spare cash, and she can live the stylized life with a one-bedroom place that costs $1 bazillion for, admittedly, a horrible little unit. But enough of my blathering about property. Welcome to the Forex Speed webinar for Tuesday, the 16th of June 2015. New line. But yes, I thought it was a fine blue thread. Only one bidder in an auction. And the funny thing was, they put in a vendor bed because nobody bid, and then the guy goes over the vendor bid. Anyway, so it got sold, but it was by the skin of the teeth. US dollar index, new line. Same conclusion as yesterday, not doing anything very fast, and probably still has 92.44 on its mind as it unwinds all of the positions that everyone has. Full stop, new line. If you are long, you probably lob a stop underneath 94.7 and just protect yourself. Full stop, new line. AUD USD, new line. This is still on bull horns warnings. And it gets interesting above 0.78. So we can have a buy above there. Potential. Potential. With a stop loss at 0.77, 76.90. And a target at 0.7930 and a further target at 0.83. EUR USD new line. Still in confusion land. In theory, it's still got a bit of a triangle to the upside, looking for 1.18. And if you were buying it on a break above 1.1337, you would have a stop loss at 1.1149, full stop your line. Again, I still think that it's not the funnest game to play the currencies at the moment, full stop your line. GBP USD new line. The clearest currency that we can find is the squid, the pound, full stop your line. There are many names for the pound. These include British pound, new line. Quid. Squid. Cable. And it was called cable because that's how they used to send money around, by cable. And they would send British pounds around before they sent US dollars, full stop your line. So if you're long the pound, which is not a bad idea, have your stop loss at 1.5439 and have your hopes at 1.58 and possibly 1.60, full stop your line. NZD USD new line. What a sad little Kiwi this is, full stop your line. It is not flying like its namesake. Really, if you're short, your stop should be at 0.71, full stop your line. At the moment, it's probably close to completion. We've had an inside day. Yesterday, and a break back up above 0.7038 would be a first sign, and the major sign would be a break above 0.71, that something was changing for a rally probably towards 0.73, full stop your line. USD CAD new line. It's in a little bit of a flag-like motion that could bring it back up to 1.24. If it breaks down, it would be on a breakdown below 1.2266. So if you want to short it there with a stop above 1.24, that would be okay. Looking for 1.2090, full stop your line. USD CHF, new line. This currency is probably confused as to why an Australian company is buying a Swiss company, not the other way around. Full stop, new line. A break above 0.94 would lead it to less confusion to the upside and a target towards 0.96. A break below 0.9210 would lead it to less confusion and a move to the downside. Full stop, new line. Same idea as yesterday. Full stop, new line. USD JPY, new line. Just as much confusion as yesterday. It's not sure why it's not going up and it's not sure why it's not going down. Full stop, new line. What I can say is you could leave it alone until it breaks down or up. Up is above 124, down is below 123.5. Full stop, new line. AUD EUR, new line. It failed at the old lows, so if you're thinking about going short, you can whack a stop above 0.6955 and hope for 0.6718. Full stop, new line. AUD GBP, new line. The Aussie dollar is staying up against everything else but the pound, and it's now cracked below the 0.5 on really the last 3 or 4 days, and so we have to think that lower is likely. Full stop, new line. It changes its mind about being very weak above 0.5020. Full stop, new line. AUD JPY, new line. On the Aussie yen, we can have a break up above 96. That would be a buy with a stop loss below 95. And you would hope for 97, as mentioned before. If it breaks below 95, then you sell it with a stop above 96, looking for 93. Full stop, new line. In the end, it's still just boring. Full stop, new line, but it's somewhat more interesting than the other Aussie crosses. Full stop, new line. AUD NZD, new line. The level of interest is still increasing, still looking for 1.15. 1.1451 to be precise. Let's look at the monthly, see if there's anything better up there. We see something higher up there at 1.4163, and we also see a little bit of a issue at 1.1312. At some stage, the Kiwi will start to recover and the Aussie will suffer a bit, but we seem to be complete on the 5-wave structure to the downside. Ultimately, a rally towards 1.2354 should be where the Aussie dollar starts to lose its luster against the Kiwi. Full stop, new line. And I wish that number had have been 1.2345. Shall we do some commodities? What do you reckon? Any questions, or are you bored with currencies aside from the Kiwi and the pound and the Aussie? Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next event. Welcome to the Commodity Speed webinar for Tuesday, the 15th of June, 2015. The Baltic Dry Index, new line. The BDI has been chugging along quite nicely. It's blown through the old tops quite easily. And 712 is the next target, full stop, new line. Now, maybe this is a shipping supply issue. Maybe this is a demand for goods being shipped across the world issue. Whatever it is, the Baltic Dry Index is going up, which generally means some sort of economic activity is starting to increase. Full stop, new line. So over the next few months, we should see some better reports as to how production is going in places like China, etc. Full stop, new line. Oh, isn't China the only place that makes anything? I forgot. That's why they're rich, and that's why they've got so much money, because they actually produce something that people want to buy and use. Full stop, new line. Now, the things may not last long. Certainly, if you buy anything now in a year's time, you can expect it doesn't work properly. Full stop, new line. But it's cheap enough that you can buy another one and chuck the other one on the garbage bin. Full stop, new line. Uranium, new line. Uranium still edging its way up to the 36.97 target we have, possibly 38.44 now. It's now coming out nicely, and we should have a look at some of the uranium stocks in Australia now that ERA has been closing itself up. Full stop, new line. There might be some better reasons to be in the other uranium stocks. Full stop, new line. Chinese iron ore, new line. Chinese iron ore fall up, Chinese iron ore fall down, generally staying in the same position. Full stop, new line. It probably gets more unlikable below 52.84. At the moment, we still hold our breath and hope for 58.75. Full full stop, new line. Crude oil, new line. Crude oil did some sideways jiggling yesterday, full stop, new line. Nothing to get us excited, depressed, or otherwise, full stop, new line. Heating oil, new line. Heating oil, still would like to see 1.8068, but maybe that's not going to happen just yet. It's more likely to happen if it breaks down below 1.858. Full stop, new line. So if you're long, have your stop down there. And if you're long, hope for 1.9974. Full stop, new line. Natural gas, new line. We can now raise our stop loss up to 2.8 in natural gas. Which is effectively break even, and we hope that it starts to run harder, but we can't expect too much out of this. If you feel like taking a little bit of profit right now, you can do so, maybe as a sacrifice. Full stop, new line. RBOB gasoline, new line. This one has locked in on ratio. However, it is not conclusive by the way volume has gone. What I would say is you probably want to buy this on a break above 2.1305 with a stop loss below 2.076. With an expectation of 2.417. Full stop, new line. US 30-year bonds, new line. The 30-year bonds have gone flatlining. And probably popped our stop. And yes, they did. So at this point, we know we've been stopped, which usually happens just before it tops out and rolls over. So we'll have a go on the downside, re-entering on a breakdown below 149 and 25 30 seconds. Sorry for not being able to talk and type at the same time. Exactly, Mark. You know the generalized principle of being stopped out, isn't it? Australian 10-year bonds, new line. We did not get to gamma hedge, and we will do so if it happens, full stop, new line. But they appear weaker, still looking for 96.81, but still have the possibility of 97.1 if it wants to rally, full stop, new line. And its rally is dependent on the US, full stop, new line. I believe Janet Yellen is soothing the world with their dulcet tones, full stop, new line, on Wednesday. I also believe the US is in retrograde motion with the likelihood of a Bush versus Clinton election repeating itself. I seem to remember that happened a few years ago, or is that just my fantasy? Full stop, new line. Whatever it is, watch out for an Obama versus Bush versus Clinton presidential election in 4 years' time. Now, if you think democracy means that certain families pass on the presidency between each other, that's what democracy is all about. It's not called kingdom. It's not called royalty. It's called democracy. And that's what we're fighting for in the Middle East. Full stop, new line. US 10-year notes, new line. Certainly rallying better than the 30-year bonds, but otherwise it's not got a lot of friends, and in fact it hasn't turned itself long. It would need to get above 127 to start exciting everybody. Full stop, new line. So in the meantime, we're still in a little bit of a weak situation. Grains, new line. Corn, new line. Corn's done something that we understand as a bullish maneuver. Full stop, new line. Now, I'd like it to get more bullish, and I'd like it to get itself above 361 cents. I can't remember what a good corn contract is. That's terrible brain damage, isn't it, really? So let's see where ZC would be. Currently, we have a ZC at, oh, that's a July one. I'm not caring about July. Who cares about July? Who cares about July? The next one would be SEPI or DEC. I prefer DEC. SEP's a bit of a nothing contract, really. Let's check. Yeah, corn's pretty good that far out. They do a lot of planning about what they need to buy, so there's a fair amount of corn goes on in the back months. So let's do a DEC. I just don't trust September, and I certainly don't like the closeness of July. It's too close. We can see we've gone ratio. This is important shit. Let's buy a break above 370 as a new PHG trade with a stop loss below 360, 359, staring down the barrel of 398 and potential. Okay, so oh, that was not good. So we'll have a stop loss at, so we will go long on a PHG trade on a break above $3.70 with a stop loss below $3.60, targeting $3.98 in the medium time. Above $4.04, we can expect $4.38. Full stop, new line. You tend, yeah, the financials, you know, when you talk about the financials, then they get a bit funny. Look, there's a bit of capitulation here and there's equal ranges, so it's a good idea to have a go. Have a go, have a go, have a go. JR, you got to explain this ECBOT and NIBOT and how they're fungible. I guess that would be something good to do. Oats, new line. Oats, we can see that dips are buyable to 247 or on a break above 261. Full stop, new line. And your stop loss should be below 246. If it takes up, expect 28. Apologies, because I've been butchering the decimal places in Oats for ages, and that's because of the way that the formatting is. So I'm going to have to change that. The important thing is our stop is at 25.28, and did we get killed? Yes, we got took out. We got took out. So we took profit on 2/3, disappointingly at 25.28. And so really re-entry would be a buy on a break above, and it cleared us out and then decided to go up. So we buy a break above 26.23. BOYB, 26.23 with stop 25.26. Boom, 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 boom. Let's look at rough rice. May as well look at everything. Ooh, ooh, rough rice doing good. Ricey futures. If you are still long, raise your stop to the midpoint, which would be $99.83. That's pretty exciting. The grains have come good. Shake us out and come good again. Aren't they nice? Soybean oil. That's unnice. That's very unfriendly. That's not the one we want to see. Our stop is at 32.72, and we managed to get filled all the way down and stopped out. That's probably going up now. This negative thinking is not the best, but does seem to happen a lot with these grains. They know when to wash you, and I guess they washed everyone out now. So we'll buy a break above 30. We'll get on our bikes a break above 33.14. With a stop at 32.50. Disappointing. Okay, let's see if they've got us in anything else before they turned it around. Soybeans. Yeah, they got us there. 9.35. We were long and we got stopped at 9.35, and it's back to 9.20. Oh, okay. For some reason, the soybean line, we'd already been stopped, and revenge is to buy a break above $9.50, and that revenge trade is still there. For some reason, that didn't seem to happen. Okay, now next one is soy meal. Soy meal. We talked about buying dips to $3.09 with a stop loss below $3.04. That was kindly executed by a complete dump. I'm glad we didn't buy the breakout, but certainly it wasn't any good, so we were stopped on that one. Bloody annoying. Anyway, let's move on. And we've done rough rice. We need to do wheat. I don't think we had a wheat order in there. Wheat also has nothing. We buy a break above $55.13, hoping for $5.43, or dips to $4.81, with a stop loss below $4.70 if you're buying at $4.81. If you're buying the breakout, have your stop at $5. They're flashing the bull horns, but not giving us the best stuff. HG copper, new line. Copper continued to sog off, looking for that $2.55 area or 255 area, possibly new lows, as I mentioned before. If you are short, have your stop at 2.7538, full stop new line. Gold, new line. Gold rallied a little bit. Gold went down and made a new low, made a new high, closed a little bit higher than before. Still gives us nothing, takes us nowhere, gives us no interest. Maybe above 1200, get excited for 1244. Certainly below 1174, get depressed looking for 1120, full stop new line. Nickel, new line. Nickel, new line. Where is the nickel boom that people have been talking about in the popular press? Maybe it comes off 760, question mark. Or will it come off something more deeper and diabolical at 746, question mark. Certainly the monthly rally was not good because it banged into the 30-period moving average, which is not a great idea. Full stop new line. So look out if this breaks 788 soon, full stop new line. Palladium, new line. Definitely a lack of inspiration on palladium. If you're short, your stop is at the jumbo, 747. It's been down for so long, you would think a bounce should come, but maybe it comes off 725, full stop new line. Silver, new line. Silver, new line. Silver had a nice movement up. Not sure on what the volume was, but it's fallen close to being in the range. If you did buy the breakup, have your stop at $15.88, full stop new line. Platinum, new line. Platinum has broken down, but then if it resumes above $1,100, that would be considered a failure. If you are thinking of buying it, then maybe buy a break above $1,100 with a stop loss below 1080, full stop new line. Hoping for 1158, full stop new line. Cocoa, new line. Cocoa finally got back on its bike. And looking for 34.76 on the top side. Our PHG trade stop loss can be moved to $31.16. Coffee, new line. If you did go short on coffee, then lower your stop to 134.75 and set your sights on 118.55, full stop new line. Cotton, new line. Cotton breaking down a bit but not following through, so more mixed opinions about this. Leave it alone, full stop new line. We will lower our order, however, to buy a break above $65.05. Full stop new line. Lumber, new line. This is starting to struggle, and 309 would be the right area for shorting this if you were keen, with a stop loss above 320, full stop new line. Your target would be down to around about 266, full stop new line. Orange juice, new line. Just when you thought it was safe to buy, it fell apart. However, it didn't fall apart that badly, and it had a good shakeout, and it got tested. We're going to buy a break above 124.15. With a stop loss below 120. Sugar, new line. They got us to bail out of our options, and then they've managed to throw it down and rally it up, and I have no clue what to do. Full stop your line. If you're still holding the options, then maybe you could still hold on to them, but they're probably not going to be worth anything much. It is trending to the downside, so probably more to the downside could be expected. Full stop your line. Are there any questions in the world for your sugar platform chart didn't go up like mine? It's possibly rollover land that we're in there, Mark. Okay, so let's do some equities and see if they've become more interesting, which from the look of the chart, it hasn't. Welcome to the World Indices Speed webinar for Tuesday, the 16th of June, 2015. If Janet Yellen speaks on Wednesday, then the markets will be stupid till Wednesday. Full stop your line. After that, they will have a stupid movement. And who knows what that movement will be? Question mark. I'm pretty sure the Democrats will not allow any election interest rate hikes. When you actually watch what these politicians do, like Julia Gillard, oh, I'm such a nice person. Kevin was out of control. I didn't lie. I'm not a lawyer. Please be nice and please love me. Because while I killed Kevin, he was just out of control. And I had to do it for the good of the country and in order for me to be Prime Minister. Full stop, new line. Now, whenever you watch the way these people play their games and plan out their strategies, it is decidedly scary. Full stop. If you think everything just happens for a reason, you are right, but it's not the right reason usually. Full stop, new line. It is usually to advantage one of their friends or one of themselves, or to screw other people. In fact, in the Liberal Party, the right wing of the Liberal Party believe that the left wing of the Liberal Party is more evil than the Labor Party, and they would rather kill the Liberal Party left than the Labor Party. Full stop, new line. Does this make any sense to you? Question mark. No, it's not supposed to, but it's politics. Dow Transportation Average, new line. Baltic Dry Index goes up. Dow Transportation Index goes down on higher volume than the previous day. Full stop, new line. That would put into reflection of 8,225. And the feeling here is triangular in nature. So we have one more shoe dropping. Full stop, new line. Dow Jones Industrial Average, new line. We see 17,539 or 17,397 as a target on the downside. Full stop, new line. We see a 50% retracement. Now, Mark believes more strongly in a 50% retracement than I do. It has run away from that low, which is nice to see if you are oriented to the 50% retrace. Full stop, new line. If it can break above 18,100, all well and good. Full stop, new line. At the moment, I would say this smacks of more congestion with the possibility of a bit lower when it stops out. Full stop, new line. But otherwise, I'm not so convinced about anything in this market at the moment. Full stop, new line. S&P 500 cash index, new line. Yeah, Mark, thank you. I do see that from the lows. The S&P 500 cash index, it decided not to go long. Sorry, it decided not to go short. Comma. And so, in fact, it touched it just to be annoying. So if it's really going to break down, a breakdown below 2073 is a negative event. Full stop, new line. So more range possible on this one. Full stop, new line. E-mini S&P, new line. We can see that it's closing around the area that it opened at yesterday. Full stop, new line. Now, reality is that this is a contract rollover, so there is no real gap in this chart. Full stop, new line. What it does matter is that it's showing that the market thinks that in September that this index will be 12 points lower than where it actually is trading in the cash. Full stop, new line. So the forward contract is at a discount to the cash. Full stop, new line. Now that's not excessively bearish, but it's slightly negative, and the trend is still down. Full stop, new line. Now I'm looking here at the floor session, and we can see that it's done some nice little ratios in there. Maybe it tags 2082 on the top side before wanting to roll over full stop new line. So if you're looking to short it, 2089, 2082 is the target area, full stop new line. If you get a dump into Janet Yellen's speak, then take some profit on that position, full stop new line. NASDAQ, new line. Yes, it's got some long tails. It's put itself short, and yet it's trending a bit to the downside at the moment. So reality is you can't really buy it and you can't really sell it, full stop new line. I think I've said that about 3 times. Wednesday. I'm not sure what time on Wednesday, but you might want to search for it yourself, because I don't have that in my head, but I know it's Wednesday from part of the news that I read. Volatility index, the VIX, new line. This little baby jumped through the roof and jumped through a few hoops, not finishing the day lower, despite the fact that the equities markets went up. I don't know why this is or what this is, but somebody is preparing, it's gone long. If you are long, then that's fabulous. But your stop should be around the $14 area. EXX.ETF, new line. Now we have gone long on a break of $18.87, which is where the fill would be. And it's not bolted as well as the VIX. But we will have our stop loss at $18.36. GDX.ETF, new line. Gold went up, GDX did not, full stop, new line. Not much else that I can say. TBT.ETF, new line. Now we took profit on our PHG trade. I'm not sure why the lines were not through that today. I apologize if that misleads you. We were stopped profited yesterday, full stop, new line. Now, the way that it's rallied back is okay. I'd like to see it break above $50.45. We'll go long above there on a new PHG trade re-entry. stop loss will be below $49.10. And we will be hoping for $53.56 at the least. The entry, I'll just change that entry to be $50.50, a break above there. NIB.ASX, new line. And of course, I meant NIB.ASX. We didn't have a buy on this. Okay, we buy a break above 40.92, targeting. That's entered. Okay, that was entered on the 12th. And I have to change this. I will get the chance this morning, I think, to do that. We've not got all of the stresses and strains of auction shit and inspections. We can now move our stop loss up to $40.80. DRYS.ETF. DRYS.ETF. We see a nice break up, a target towards 88 cents, a stop loss below 69 cents. And if you want to go long, this is a new PHG trade. I really want to go long this. This has got good volume, and it's time to buy a break above 74 cents. Mark, I believe when I told Azad last year, it's time to sell, and she didn't want to, we could have gotten about $200,000 or $300,000 more. We got a price that we were not sad with, and we got a price that we were not happy with. It was a neutral price in the market. When there's only one bidder in the room, you've got a problem. And as I said, a number of the houses were passed in that were for auction. Large number had already been pre-sold, and the offer that we got from the eventual buyer before the auction, which I said, just take it. I thought we should just take it. We got $10,000 more than that. So it's not, between $2 million and $4 million in Bondi is not doing well. Or in the eastern suburbs. Above $4 million, where you've got Chinese whales buying stuff, like the next door neighbor of Joe Hockey, that general knockabout guy who just happens to live next door to a multi-billionaire, and then says get a good job, but then you've got to rent off your own wife to claim your allowance of $280 a night. Yes, it's the rules, but excuse me. The treasurer plays by the rules, then we should all play by the rules too. So, use the rules to our advantage like the treasurer. I'm just doing what the treasurer did. Yep. Tell that to the judge. The good thing about politicians is you can change them, and over time you think, oh wow, that one's a good one when you first meet them, and then you realize they are just the bloody same, all of them. And Joe Hockey is even dumber than Wayne Swan, but smarter in a few ways. I wonder what Wayne Swan got away with. Let's get physical with the DAX. German DAX, new line. We see the German DAX still got the possibility of 10,849. Generally, the swing has swung up, and it won't take much of a push down to swing it down a little bit, get everyone concerned, and then you can buy at 10,849 with a stop loss below 10,790. Full stop your line. So what I suggest you do tactically, if it touches, market if touch, if it touches 10,849, then you buy a break back through 10,990 with a stop loss below 10,850. Full stop your line. Hoping for 11,517. Full stop your line. Euro Stocks 50, new line. On the Euro Stocks 50, we can see a lot of a jumble sale. 33.93 would be the support area I would think would be the best if the DAX got its feet in the ground properly. 31.89 is the next area, and 36.73 would be the rally area. Full stop your line. If it broke back through 3,500, you'd become a buyer looking for a rally to 36.17, and you'd have your stop loss below 34.42. Full stop your line. Italian MIB, new line. This got the kicking it deserved or needed. The 21,655 area should be an area it can get to if it can break down below 22,250, which is disputable at this point. Full stop your line. So if Europe gets better, then the Italian MIB will get better for 23,000 target. Full stop your line. UK FTSE, new line. You'd think in summer the English would have a bit more of a cheerful disposition. If it gets back above 6,800, then that's healthy for a rally to 68.93. But generally, given the trend, you would think 65.18 would be the target area. Full stop your line. Shanghai A shares index, new line. The Shanghai A shares index has broken down out of its putative struggle street pattern, and therefore it sets our sights on down around here at 48.94, maybe a little bit higher than that at 5,000, full stop new line. There was a bit of an increase in volume yesterday. I'd like to see it continue to the downside after a rally towards 53.65, which fails, full stop new line. The larger struggle street pattern, which it's in, breaks down below 52.60, full stop new line. So be on the alert. If you are thinking of buying some negative Chinese exposure, you could do so. I think that's called the yang. And the negative Chinese exposure has been edging up for quite some time and has a target towards $74.35. The stop loss is at $55.43. And you can see the smart money is already piling into that full stop new line. Hong Kong Hang Seng new line. We can see it playing the ratios. 26,274 is the target area if should it want to break down. 27,819 is the target area if it wants to break up. And yet it's confused. The averages are down, but the trend is not. Full stop new line. Japanese Nikkei new line. Like the US dollar yen, the Japanese Nikkei is in the washing machine at the moment with inconclusiveness all round. It probably resolves to the upside. I had hoped it would get down to the 19,791 area, but a break above 20,487 is a good thing. Full stop new line. Now, let's talk about Australia. Australian Share Price Index Futures, new line. The SPY is clearly confused and it banged into the old tops. It came back down into a bit of support. So here is where your stop should be at 5,500 if you are long. And if you're short, stop should be at 56.37, full stop new line. They probably will want to buy it today. BHP.US, new line. Iron ore goes up, BHP goes down. On increasing volume, full stop new line. Now, it may be foxing us, but a break above $44 is the key to that game changing to the upside, full stop new line. BHP.ASX, new line. Nothing interesting to talk about here other than it hasn't broken a new low, full stop new line, and maybe a break above $28.09 would be useful, full stop new line. Rio.US, new line. Nothing really doing other than that it's got a little bit of a tilt to the downside. The ADX is very low, so a powerful move may be coming in there soon. Full stop, new line. XFJ.ASX, new line. The financials retracement is to 63.32, full stop, new line. Quite often with these indexes, they don't quite do the perfect retracement. Is not usual in these indexes. So if it fails, it would be below 62.61. And unfortunately, the US 30-year bonds are not helping the Australian bank's case today. Full stop, new line. ANZ.ASX, new line. Well, we can see that it's done a 38.2% retracement and it's hit the old tops. If it breaks down below $31.36, then it slips to the negative slide to the downside again. Full stop, new line. If long, use that as your stop loss. Full stop, new line. CBA.ASX, new line. CBA slapped itself down and then slapped itself up to close higher. It is a little bit beyond its retracement, and it is my preferred bank. We did get stopped out of our PHG trade. If you do want to get back in, your stop is at $80. I don't think we're going to get in for the PHG trade. While the volume was higher than the day before, it still was not setting my heart aflame. Full stop, new line. NAB.ASX, new line. Again, nothing. WBC.ASX, new line. A little bit less than nothing on Westpac. Okay, any questions that you want to deliver now, or should you ever forever hold your peace? XMJ.ASX, new line. Still looking for 88.04. Unless it breaks through 9,400, then it's going higher. Okay, no questions. Thanks everyone. Have a good day.